couple of weeks ago, I put up a video kind of jokingly about this thing sitting all crooked. And I was actually surprised. Standard grade for California is 2%, and I wouldn't think that would be so significant, but for these types of pools, it is critical that you backfill. So in this case, I got a little creative. I used volcanic rock, not a good idea normally, but I knew that when this was going away, I would use the rock, and I didn't really want to have something else being put out that I would just wind up having to clean up. If you're putting it on pavement, I would not use peat moss either. You're gonna get etched. So yeah, if you were to take a long piece of wood and lay it out and put a level on that piece of wood, you'd be surprised from here to here. It's a couple of inches of height required to get back to an actual water level kind of level. So I'm actually kind of impressed how much better it is properly filled, because it was sort of a joke across the board before. So these are very cheap. When you put one up, you want to just partially fill it and then pull each of the edges out in opposite directions multiple times so you get all the wrinkles out. You don't even want an inch of water at that point. It gets heavy fast, but a little bit of water holds it down, gets it to level out pretty nice. And then wrinkles will become a spot for algae to grow in pockets. So like I even went about filling these parts here up near the top of the grade with some sand. So when I put down my underlayment, it was just volcanic rock and then a layer of sand. I would use the multi-purpose sand because the other sands can have larger rocks. And then I put down 2 layers of wood floor, quiet step material, and then one space blanket that I had that was kind of like a military felt material. It's not the foil type blanket, it's the other ones. So they actually sell one purpose driven for that, but I don't have access to that part. So a little thing worth knowing about this filter system here, there's 2 hoses going in, 1 going back. And the thing is that if you were to look at it, the one that comes out of here, it has no guard on it, and those 2 have a guard on them. So it's easier to assemble knowing that. The directions that came with these are not very good. The other thing is that there is a filter in here, and you'll want to buy some in advance. They're I think about a 3-something inch and 4-inch dimension. Most pool stores don't carry that, so get one online. Do not buy the sponge type, they do not work. When you set this thing up, you got to get all the air bubbles out, and the way you do that is you just unscrew this one piece here. That'll let the air out. When you change the filter, you need to get this thing whole all the way up above the ground, and you can unscrew the big top on it and swap the filter out. So if you don't have flow going through here, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be your filter is clogged, and you'd be surprised if there's silt in your water or fine sand, how fast those things will clog. It's ridiculous. So definitely nothing much else could go wrong on these. If you have the light on, then it should be running. And if you hear it making noise but nothing's happening, it's probably the filter. Best way to find out, just take the filter out, close it, see if you have flow, and then if it works, it works. But I gotta say that properly filled and leveled, this thing is actually kind of cool for sub $100, or with the pump just a tad more. And I'm kind of using it as a evaluation as to how much work it would be to maintain pool chemistry. So no joke, these things need chlorine, and for that, you're not going to want to use a 3-inch tab. So they sell these smaller ones, and you put a 1-inch tab in them. Let that float all the time. When you first set it up, you should probably shock it, and you should probably shock it weekly as well. And you might need a pH up or pH down type of additive. For that, probably about 2 tablespoons would be a lot for initial adjustment, but 330 gallons, do the math. So anyway, yeah, it's been kind of fun playing around with this, and we are leaning towards doing some expensive work back here because the backyard is so strange, and there's all these strange lines and angles, and I feel like a pool with a free flow or free form design would be a great way to deal with that space and not make it look so out of place with all the conflicting lines. So elevation wise, things to be considered, and there is actually the possibility of us removing everything other than this retainer wall back here, just depending on how the price quotes come in and what all that would cost, and not only money but time. So yeah, I would recommend these to somebody who just wants something to splash around in this hot summer. Have fun if you get one.